Köszöntöm Önt a Magyar Turisztikai Ügynökség nevében. Engedje meg, hogy a következő percekben munkatársaim közreműködésével egy virtuális utazásra hívjam Önt, mely során Magyarország ezer csodája közül mutatunk be néhány ismert és kevésbé ismert rejtett kincset. Bízom benne, ajánlásaink segítik munkáját, és új gondolatokkal inspirálódva érdekes, vonzó terméket tud majd összeállítani. Tartson velünk, ismerje meg országunkat!
Have you been looking for a place that you can confidently offer to all of your customers? Then come with me and my colleagues who are experts in the field for a short trip. We'll introduce you to the most exciting sites and the selected attractions of the Sopron tourist area in the western part of Hungary. Let's take a closer look at this colorful destination. Sopron, also known as the City of Fidelity, and its surroundings will surely not disappoint you. Whether it's cultural experiences, active excursions in beautiful landscapes, or just a simple pleasure trip you're after. Cycling around Lake Fertő, a World Heritage Site, is an uplifting experience in itself. And there's also several spas in the area for relaxation. The numerous monuments here, the lavish palaces, and the gourmet dinners crowned with smooth blue Frankish wine promise an unforgettable experience at any time of the year. The best way to explore the center of Sopron is to first walk around the old town on the castle wall promenade, then immerse yourself in the labyrinth of old-fashioned streets where Gothic, Renaissance and Baroque buildings preserve the energy of the past. If you follow the symbol of the city, the 58-meter fire tower, you will quickly arrive at Főtér. Above, you can see an amazing panorama, and below in the square, you can see the oldest statue of the Holy Trinity in Hungary, and the goat church built in the 13th century, which was host to coronations and parliaments. The square is also home to Storno House, built in the 15th century, which has a rich collection of antique furniture and ornaments. But what is perhaps even more interesting is that Franz Liszt, the world-famous Hungarian composer, once lived here. He is connected to Sopron in so many ways that a special thematic walkway has been created to commemorate the relationship between the city and the composer. On Főtér, you will also find an exhibition on archaeology and civic life in the Fabricius House as well as the Eggenberg House, where the Interactive Children's Museum won the Exhibition of the Year award. Going a little further, you can admire the ornate Torah room and mikveh, the ritual bath of the early Gothic Old Synagogue, which is unlike any other in Central Europe. If you want to relax, you can choose from the many cafes and cake shops on Széchenyi tér and Deák tér. Sopron and its surroundings also make a popular destination for health tourism. Not only is it possible to receive dental care here with amazing value for money, but during the treatment, patients can choose from accommodations specifically recommended for the treatment, as well as leisure and tourist opportunities. The Sopron Park Forest and Lővér are some of the best climatic health resorts in Hungary with clean air, and also favorites for those who want to recover and play sports. On its nearly 400 kilometers of hiking trails, you can choose from ski, sledge, and equestrian trails on easy and difficult terrains. And for those looking for even more adrenaline, there is a forest gym and an 11-kilometer downhill track. The tower of the Pauline Monastery in the nearby Sopron Bánfalva is visible from afar, and the silence between its ancient walls is palpable. This is the best place to go if you want to break away a bit from the noise of the 21st century. People who love crowds and loud music should head to the Volt Festival in Sopron, which has been one of the best mid-sized summer festivals in Europe for 2 decades. With 30 international stars and 300 other popular bands and DJs entertaining 150,000 young partygoers for 5 days. The flagship wine of the area is the well-known Blue Frankish, many versions of which can be tasted in the city's wine bars and restaurants. But a picnic is also a great chance to taste it. By the way, according to legend, the Blue Frankish got its name because Napoleon's soldiers could only get red wine for their more valuable blue francs. People with a sweet tooth won't miss out either. They can taste various flavored and spiced delicacies in an ultra-modern chocolate workshop in Sopron. There are beautiful palaces around Sopron, so let's take a closer look at some of them. For example, the Széchenyi Castle in Nagyszent, which was built in classicist style. It's definitely worth a visit, as it has a mausoleum which is surrounded by a beautiful Baroque garden with seemingly endless, about 2,600-meter-long row of leaden trees. The beautiful Baroque murals are the prime attraction in the imposing episcopal palace of Fertőrákos. And we have arrived at the Esterhazi palace in Fertőd, which is also known as the Hungarian Versailles. Glamour, splendor and harmony characterize the whole place, from the courtyard through the halls to the carefully maintained palace park. The aristocratic suites of the palace, the English garden and the rose garden, home to the most complete collection of Hungarian rose varieties, and the marionette theater all give a great taste of the ducal family's once luxurious way of life. It is also worth seeing the panoramic projection of the water tower, which invites visitors to the 18th century Esterhazi as part of a virtual walk. Hungary's largest Baroque palace was also one of the main cultural centers of the period. In addition to many high-ranking families, Maria Theresa herself was also a guest here, and the famous composer Joseph Haydn also lived and composed in the palace for about 2 decades. And Haydn's Farewell Symphony was performed here for the first time. In the ballroom, renowned Hungarian and foreign artists still perform wonderful concerts. Is there something for nature lovers in this area? Of course! The Fertő region has been declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, including Lake Fertő, which is a habitat for rare plants and animal species. It has the largest bird sanctuary in Central Europe, which is a real waterfowl paradise with 250 species. You can observe a wide variety of birds by rowing down the canal network by boats and on foot from high stands. Early birds can go twitching by canoe early in the morning, but they might need to dock sometimes. If you're interested in other animals, start on the educational trail winding between great cattle, domestic buffaloes and Rácz, and also visit László Major, where you can learn about all Hungarian crafts and children can play on the experience trail. Around Lake Fertő, there is a modern 120-kilometer bike path in the Hungarian and Austrian parts, between neat villages, rustling reeds, and slopes. The almost flat terrain can be easily covered in 2 or 3 days, even with children. When walking around in this area, let's not forget about Fertőrákos. Fertőrákos is an important place in history in many ways. You can see the Fertőrákos Quarry and Cave Theatre, which originally functioned as a mine, and in the auditorium, visitors can have a unique theater and concert experience. In the theme park, deep inside the cave, you can also find life-sized ancient whales, a time tunnel, and other interesting fossils. After leaving the cave, it is worth turning to the Rock Buckthorn Educational Trail, and from its lookout points you can admire the wonderful panorama of Lake Fertő. Going back to history, if you're in the area, you should visit the Pan-European Picnic Memorial. In 1989, this is where the crowd broke through the Iron Curtain to Austria, making the border at Fertőrákos an important symbol of a shared Europe. A border guard tower, a piece of the Iron Curtain, the Bell of Freedom, the Academic Memorial Forest, and a monumental sculptural composition help to evoke the historical moments. The regions near Sopron and Lake Fertő also offer many experiences. Let me introduce them briefly. The city of Győr, rich in monuments, fabulous streets, and majestic sights, can be found in the Győr-Pannonhalma tourist destination. Pannonhalma offers visitors unique Christian historical heritage. The monastery, which is a World Heritage Site, is home to legendary Benedictine monks, who make fine abbey wine and beers. For those who want a more active holiday, Szigetköz offers 800 kilometers of wildly romantic waterways and cycling paths along the Danube. The other neighboring destination is the Büksárvár tourist area, which has 2 internationally renowned spas. With thousands of square meters of water, as well as more and more outdoor and indoor adventure pools, slides and sauna worlds, they now offer perfect relaxation for families, couples, and groups of friends all year round. In addition to bathing, a variety of cultural programs, arboretums, and cozy towns welcome visitors. It's clear that the visitors will never get bored in the Sopron-Fertő tourist destination. Depending on their interests, every traveler will be satisfied, whether they're hungry for culture, for culinary specialties, or just for adventures. Both hustle and bustle and endless peace can be found here, and of course, plenty in between as well. I'm sure that our short film will also encourage you to visit this region personally. If you ask me, I can only support you in this. And once you have experienced what a superb region this is, I hope Sopron and its surroundings will be a top offer for your customers. Thank you and goodbye!